What is going on? What is going on? Welcome to the Wrestling Hour. We're going to be talking about the draft that took place Friday on SmackDown and Monday on Raw. I see some people not really digging it. I see you, John, disappointed in the draft. What up, VJ? What up, Terrence? MGM says this is a surprise, but a welcome one. And we have the voting up for you guys to pick which way you felt. The question is simple. Did you enjoy the 2024 WWE draft? Yeah? No? Wish it was better? Meh. It was okay. I gave you guys some options. The draft did have its ups and downs. Ups were getting people like Dijak and Carmelo on the main roster. True. I like it. I don't expect much out of it. I hear you, Straight Edge. What up, Ocean? What up, Jamar? Draft was fine, but was fine, but disappointing. So that's the topic of the stream. That's what we're going to be discussing here. Welcome back to the channel. Hope you guys are having a great Tuesday as we are ready to discuss what the hell happened. I know that WWE likes to go hand in hand with other sports. WrestleMania being their very own Super Bowl. The WWE draft being their version of drafting like in the NFL, which they just had that last week. They're trying to get in on that conversation. Taking advantage of the fact that they have different shows with different rosters. I get it. They were trying to capitalize on everything, but we have the list right here, right before our eyes, to ultimately see, who's on what show. So I'm going to give you guys a quick rundown. I know it looks a little wacky, a little crazy. I have it pulled up on Twitter here, but let's look at what SmackDown has to offer. We're looking at Cody Rhodes as the undisputed WWE champion. We got Bayley as the WWE Women's Champion. We got Logan Paul as the United States Champion, which is funny they have him here on SmackDown because I saw a different post that had him as a free agent. They also have A-Town Down Under as the tag champs. And then we start with the regular roster. Bianca Belair, Carmelo Hayes, Randy Orton, Nia Jax, LA Knight, the Bloodline, which the Bloodline does not include Roman Reigns or The Rock. The Bloodline is Solo Sikoa, Tama Tonga, and Paul Heyman for right now. AJ Styles, Andrade, The OC, Baron Corbin, Cedric Alexander, and Ashante. Then we got Jade Cargill, Kevin Owens, The Pride, which includes the Street Profits, Bobby Lashley, and B-Fab. Then you got Tiffany Stratton, Legado del Fantasma, Shinsuke Nakamura, Naomi, Chelsea Green and Piper Niven, Pretty Deadly, Candice LeRae and Indy Hartwell, DIY, Blair Davenport, Apollo Crews, Giovanni Vinci, and Tegan Knox. So I think that ultimately this was some nice call-ups and some decent trades. That's the overall feel for SmackDown right now. We still got to review Raw. And I'm going to circle back on the superstars that I felt needed a change of scenery and what they could have done better with that individual. SmackDown has a nice, well-rounded roster, though. When you want to talk about legends or even, top-tier talent, you have to mention AJ Styles, Cody Rhodes. You got Randy Orton. The Bloodline's still heavily involved. Kevin Owens. You know, so you have a nice top tier main event level to scrap with Cody. And what's up, Billy? Thank you for the 2. Thank you so much. So, SmackDown, well-rounded, and I like that they ultimately did call up Carmelo Hayes, Blair Davenport. I like that they switched Giovanni Vinci just in time when he broke up with Imperium. I like that there's some superstars here that can see, a different opportunity and hopefully expand their role. And again, we're going to circle back to that, but I want to share with you guys the Monday Night Raw roster. This is what we're looking at for Monday Night Raw. The World Champion, Damian Priest. The Women's World Champion, Becky Lynch. The Intercontinental Champion, Sami Zayn. And the World Tag Champs, Awesome Truth. And then the regular roster, Jey Uso, Seth Rollins, Braun Breaker, Liv Morgan, Ricochet, Sheamus, Alpha Academy, Kiana James, Shayna Baszler, Zoe Stark, Alba Fire and Isla Dawn, Ivar, Imperium, which Imperium right now it's only Gunther and Ludwig Kaiser. Then you got the entire Damage Control, CM Punk, Braun Strowman, the LWO, yes, and that includes Carlito because they haven't officially separated yet. Welcome. I thought I was a new subscriber, but there you go. Billy showing up with the $2 root. Thank you, Billy-O. So yeah, LWO still has Carlito within that mix. Then you got Drew McIntyre, the Judgment Day, which doesn't include Rhea Ripley. She's injured, of course. Ilya Dragunov, the New Day, Lyra Valkyria, the Final Testament, Big Bronson Reed, Natalia, Kaden Carter, and Katana Chance. Odyssey Jones, yeah, Odyssey Jones was still there. Dijak, the Creed Brothers with Ivy Nile, and then New Catch Republic. All right, so that was the roster that got selected for Raw. All right, again, just like SmackDown, I like the variety, and the main event scene is still good. Damian Priest, I think he's awesome. I like him, and I hope they continue to present him as champ. I hope he retains this weekend so they could continue to build him up, and especially that they could dive into that storyline with him separating from Judgment Day and potentially having a massive feud with Finn Balor that can even take us into SummerSlam. So who knows what route they're cooking for that. But either way, yes, Damian Priest is a main eventer. He holds the main belt right now. That's what it is. So Damian Priest, main event star. Sami Zayn, I mentioned him just like I mentioned Kevin Owens, big superstar. And then you got main event Jay, Seth Rollins, right? And then Sheamus coming back. We still don't know how they're going to utilize him just yet, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be a lot more of the same. Sheamus being that mid-card, top-tier athlete that he is. Gunther, how are they going to present him going forward? He could ultimately be, presented as a main eventer. We got to see the transition first before we ultimately call that. We got CM Punk, amazing, obviously. Braun Strowman, got to see how they use him. A lot like Sheamus, just came back from injury. Maybe they plug him into the mid-card, top-tier level storylines versus putting him on the main scene. Then you got Drew McIntyre, who's been absolutely on fire. Ilya Dragunov, I know he's going to be a mid-card guy right now, but either way, he is well worth mentioning just because of how good he is, like Carmelo Hayes on SmackDown. And they also have Braun Breaker, which is a big deal. So that's for the top hype superstars, right? Now let's kind of circle back to SmackDown. So let me see what you guys are saying in the chat real quick so you don't feel like I'm ignoring you. What up, Hunter? What up, Cinny Sins? What up, Taco? Keon, I see you guys just joined us. Do you think SmackDown will draft Trick Williams or Oba Femi or both? Well, the draft already happened. Cooking shepherd's pie? Nice. Let's see. SmackDown was cool. Much better women's division. Some different tag teams in the bunch. World title scene about the same, though. World title scene about the same. I agree. MGM. Neither Hunter Oval Family should say. Oh, okay, I got you. I thought Pretty Deadly could have used a change of scenery. Yep. We're going to get into that now. Looking back at the roster result, they kind of made Raw's women's division worse. Lost Nia, didn't get Blair or Jade. Still lacking star power and not a lot of good promos. Let's see. My opinion, what took away is not having champions available to move brands. All right, so now that I kind of went through the chat, thank you guys. You guys are awesome. Cheers to a good Tuesday. All right, so for the SmackDown roster, I already told you the top stars. That's like a boring conversation. I'm not here to have the typical boring conversation. We're here to kind of dissect as to who may ultimately emerge, right? Who's going to emerge out of the pact? You know, a lot of people feel like LA Knight's hype train kind of died down. And I agree. It's not like on a rocket ship how it felt, but the crowd reception, and that's mostly online, because the crowd reaction is still, you know, pretty up there. The crowd still blows up for him and gets really excited. So he's going to continue to have that breakout run that he's on, right? At least that's how I feel. Let me see, should I turn on the light? Nah, I like it with the light. All right, cool. I like the way they've been kind of, you know, keeping him at bay and flirting with the hype train. They teased it a little bit. They put him in top spots. They pulled him back. He's still kind of, you know, developing in terms of what route he's going to take. Right now, I agree, Sins. And that's not a knock on LA Knight. LA Knight is phenomenal. He's great on the mic, charismatic. His character's down to the T. He could definitely be world champion at some point. And maybe if he does the Money in the Bank match and wins the briefcase, I could for sure see him kind of easing into that main event caliber role. But I'm old school when it comes to that stuff. I think it's very unnatural to have a superstar automatically go for that top title based on fan reaction and the way the crowd is receiving him. Stone Cold, you know, was built different. The Rock and those big main eventers, I get it. When they blew up, they were on their way to become world champs. But when you look at their careers, it was short. About what, 6-7 years. And I know The Rock has come back and things like that, but I'm talking about the top talent from the old age. And even when you look at the 2000s, a lot of people, except for maybe like Brock Lesnar, went down the path of capturing the US title, the European title, or the Intercontinental title, whichever one was there at the moment. And that's what's intriguing to me about SmackDown, right? That you can see a roster that's filled with great talent. Again, the main event scene is pretty much locked for right now. We're going to see the Bloodline flirting with the main event stuff every so often, obviously, that you just kind of have to. They're the most prominent storyline in all of WWE. But, you know, when you take away Kevin Owens, Randy Orton, AJ Styles, I am more intrigued by the mid-card scene and the US title. Because you have Logan Paul, a super hyped up superstar who gets you the clicks and views and can ultimately put over someone who may need it. LA Knight could be that certified superstar. That could be kind of like the seal of approval. Or it could be Kevin Owens, where he kind of gets back into the mix and, gets the belt. But at the end of the day, what I like about SmackDown's mid-card scene is the prospects. Because you now have Carmelo Hayes in that mix. And he is outstanding. You also have Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa, who are tag team right now. They are a tag team right now. But you still have Bobby Lashley as well, right? That stable with Bobby Lashley and the Street Profits, you still have top-level talent that can make this an interesting show. And then I didn't even mention Andrade. Andrade, who is clearly going to end up feuding with Legado del Fantasma. Andrade was probably going to have to feud with... He was not going to have to, but he was probably going to feud with Dominic Mysterio before the injury. And then now that Dominic Mysterio's injured, they obviously switched up plans. And now it's more than likely going to be Andrade with Santos Escobar, which I'm all for it. I think those guys are going to cook. And it's going to help each one of those superstars elevate their characterization. So, ultimately, that's what's intriguing to me. We also didn't mention Baron Corbin. Baron Corbin got called up after the show went off air. It wasn't live anymore at that point. I know they were doing like the backstage show. But seeing Baron Corbin back on the main roster is going to be ultimately fun for me personally as a fan. And I hope they do better by him. Another interesting piece that I can add, I don't know if he's going to be main event. I doubt it right now because of how many times he faced Cody already. But Shinsuke Nakamura. Shinsuke Nakamura is awesome. Apollo Crews is awesome despite his promos being what they are. But they have a nice, tight roster. Ultimately, SmackDown is looking very, very good. I would have preferred for the draft to have been promoted like an off-season of sorts, where they do trades and they discuss negotiations and like kind of do the one-year contracts and exchanges between NXT and Raw and so on and so forth. Because to me, that's more appealing than doing a draft where you're going to draft within the same characters you already have. And when you put them back in your brand, it feels like you're just selecting the same people you already had. It doesn't feel like you're shaking it up too much. And it lowers the value in some of the other superstars that did get traded and did get a change of scenery. You know what I'm saying? So ultimately, that's what I see with the draft. It's something that they could have approached differently and made it better. But before we continue the conversation, man, I gotta encourage you guys to hit the three little dots right here. Pull up the like button that pops up around right here. If you hit the three dots and then the like right here, it helps the channel. Please like it up. We only have 8 likes. It really, really helps the channel, man. You guys have no idea. We live and breathe and die by the likes. If we don't get likes, it kind of ships and sinks. The ship sinks and it all falls apart. And we only have 9 likes, which is kind of sad. So if you guys can go ahead and find that like button wherever you have it on your app. Thank you. All right, let me read what you guys are saying here on the chat. I know Simplicity came in here with his opinion and all that, and Sin said that he agreed. I read it while I was talking, but let's see, where is it? In my opinion, what took away is not having champions. That's the last part I left off. I think we got so hot that now it's suffering from being meh. I don't know what that means exactly. I don't know. There's nothing that's meh right now. Or what suffered was the draft being what it is. It's not really that the show's been bad, because if you want to... I'm not reviewing the actual SmackDown or the actual Raw. The promos were good. The matches were good. What sucked was the way that they handled the draft. It wasn't the actual show. The show was actually still fun to see. Taco says, I think Raw would have been a better fit. He could have built up for the World Heavyweight Championship. Nah, I don't want LA Knight to go for the World Heavyweight Championship like that, bro. I don't want it. Not like that. It would have been the Intercontinental Champion at that point for me. What up, Simplicity? You've been lost in the sauce, man. How's everything? The point of the draft is to keep your top guys and make sure they don't switch up. This isn't 2002 anymore. Doesn't matter, bro. A draft is a draft. I get you're just trying to find logic and justify it, but it was the way it was presented. They could have presented it differently. That's all I'm saying. You could do it in many different ways. SmackDown Women's Division looks good too. Bianca, Bayley. No, SmackDown's Women's Division is killing it. Which, that's the next phase in the conversation before we move on to Raw. I think it's ridiculous that WWE called up Dijak after Raw went off air. Yeah, you know, they just... Baron Corbin and him, they just wouldn't get the reaction, so they probably didn't want to do it and save it for the online stuff. They got to save content for the other shows they do. Nakamura isn't going to do anything significant. All right, hater. Even though they're a tag team right now, Waller and Theory could be good for the mid-card. Oh, yeah, that's true. That's for sure. All right, so I think we're good. What is it that Simplicity has said? Or it wasn't Simplicity, because I saw Sin say that he agreed with him also. I guess it was something else that I read. My fault. All right, so... Who do you think should go to NXT? Should have been Natalia. What up, Jalen? Should have been Natalia and a few others. All right, so the women's division. Let's get to the women's division on not on Monday Night Raw, I'm sorry, but on SmackDown. The SmackDown women's division is insane. This is probably one of the best women's division they've ever assembled. Keep in mind that Charlotte Flair is still injured and she hasn't been added to the mix. She's probably going to end up on Raw, though. Considering how stacked SmackDown is for the women's division, man, I mean, you got Bayley, Bianca Belair, Nia Jax. Just those right there are top tier. And then you got Jade Cargill, Tiffany Stratton, Naomi. And then for the tag division, which they are super entertaining, Chelsea Green and Piper Niven. Candice LeRae and Indy Hartwell are in their own little story as well. They're doing pretty good. And then you throw Blair Davenport. Oh my goodness, man. That women's, I have nothing but good things to say about that. I've heard nothing but great things about Blair Davenport, right? Tiffany Stratton is crazy. So when you mesh everything together, a strong mid-card scene led by LA Knight and Logan Paul, because say what you want about Logan Paul. He should have gone for the world title. He should have gone to Raw. I agree. He should have gone to Raw. I wanted him on Raw for the change of scenery. I wanted him on Raw to have some more time with his promos and not get lost in the shuffle. But look, Roman Reigns is gone. There's a few other superstars that are gone. You need to have some top tier, overly hyped talent outside of Randy Orton, Cody Rhodes, and AJ. And I think LA Knight, Kevin Owens, and those guys are top tier for that division. So, you know what? SmackDown is looking like a lot of fun. Considering that now we have replaced the gap that Roman Reigns left. Oh, yeah, you're right. Andrade is on SmackDown, and Charlotte will probably end up being with him. You're right. So if Charlotte ends up going to SmackDown, they could still do a trade. Remember, WWE got USA, right? SmackDown. SmackDown's going to be USA, yeah. So I think SmackDown is super stacked. And if they add Charlotte down the road, remember, Rhea Ripley's probably going to get then added to Monday Night Raw. What up, Goonie? So, no complaints. I honestly don't have any real complaints with the SmackDown roster at all. Or the Raw one, which we're going to get into now. Amazing mesh of characters, well-distributed balance, and I'm just eager to see what the hell Carmelo Hayes is going to do there. What is DIY going to do there? I'm looking forward to it. The tag division on SmackDown is nice too. Yeah, I don't read the garbage rumors, Ocean. And for future reference, don't talk about spoilers and don't talk about potential stuff you read online. There's a spoiler section in Discord for that kind of discussion. MJF is still signed to AEW. He's just nursing an injury at the moment. All right, so let's get into Monday Night Raw real quick. We already went down the list, right? We already went down the list. Here's what I like about Monday Night Raw. You could say whatever the hell you want about Damian Priest. Oh, he's not main event. He shouldn't be world champ. He's boring, whatever. Bro, his reign just started, and the new roster will not take place till after Backlash. So I will see what they do with him after Backlash before I ultimately have an opinion on him. But I think what they're doing with him, trying to carry his own weight, trying to be the lead for the faction and all that, I love it, man. I love the presentation for Damian Priest, and I think it's only gonna get better. When you have that guy as your world champ and all the other top talent, right, that are involved in big stories, I mean, Drew McIntyre and CM Punk should be in that mix for the belt. And they're doing their own storyline, which is equally as important to the main event scene. I think that's beautiful. It's a 3-hour show. You need to have stars feuding outside of the title pictures to have some engaging moments. And how about Sami Zayn and Chad Gable entering now another phase? Chad Gable last night attacked Sami Zayn because Sami Zayn kicked Chad Gable while they were doing an interview. So I'd absolutely love the fact that Chad Gable and Sami Zayn are still rivals. They're still very much intertwined with each other. And going forward, that's going to keep them busy. But let's keep going with the main roster here for the main event in the men's division. Guys, even more than SmackDown, this is looking crazy. I mean, Sammy is hidden and tucked away as an Intercontinental Champion. He's a main event level star. Don't get it twisted. A main event level superstar is the IC champ right now. But when you're looking at the main card for Raw, I mean, Damian Priest, great, building him up. Jey Uso, he's up there. He's up there. You could throw him in the IC picture to be a top tier mid card, or you could actually have him as a champ. Either way, he is so over. It's another LA Knight situation. You love to see it. They got multiple big stars. Seth Rollins is injured right now, but when he gets back, I mean, Seth Rollins, that speaks for itself. Again, Drew, CM Punk, another set of main eventers. Finn Balor hidden within the Judgment Day circles. You best believe that Finn Balor is going to feud with Damian Priest down the road. That feud is going to feed families. That's big. Right? And then again, like I questioned, I don't know what they're going to do with Braun Strowman yet. I don't know what they're going to do with Sheamus. They could definitely have those guys competing in the main event. But hey, they also have Rey Mysterio. You just have a Hall of Famer right there tucked away with LWO. I mean, the talent is there. The talent is there. And people talking about Wyatt Six. We don't even know what the glitches are yet. I'm sure they're related to Uncle Howdy. Yes, I get that. But it's so stupid to say, oh yeah, Braun Strowman automatically Wyatt Six. That's so dumb. His character that he came back with the hair and the way he was dressed and all that has nothing to do with Wyatt Six. Whatever happens with that story is going to happen down the road. I'm not banking on it because I'm not going to get disappointed if he's not in it at first or if he's not in it for a while. I don't care about that at all. Whatever's going on with Uncle Howdy, I can't wait to see how it plays out, even if it's not even him. Maybe it's Alexa Bliss. We just don't know. I'm not going to put any stock into that because it could go either way, and that's where the disappointment comes in. If it ends up being someone else and not Bo Dallas, oh man, it's not Bo Dallas, and all the crying. I'm not going to talk about that. I'm looking at the roster page. I'm looking at what's on paper, what we saw get drafted, and that's it. That's it. So when I'm looking at this roster, the main event scene is intriguing. There's a lot more moving parts here because I haven't even mentioned Gunther, who dropped the IC title. So as it stands, with what we do know, not what if Braun Strowman, not what if this, that, or the other. The main event scene is going to be Gunther, Damian Priest, Finn Balor, CM Punk, Drew McIntyre, and you have to wonder, Sami Zayn as well. He's main evented Raw already a bunch. So that's a strong lineup. Wow. I like the prospect here. And you got the potential storyline of Gunther and Ilya. Exactly, Taco. On a mainstream level. That's a whole different can of worms. They did it in NXT UK and in NXT, but this is the main scene. That's a card that they have in their back burner. So when I'm looking at the way they constructed this roster, I mean, then you got Dijak. Let's see how they build him. You still got Bronson Reed where he could get built up. You got Braun Breaker. Sky's the limit like Carmelo Hayes. New Catch Republic. Awesome tag team there. Final Testament with Karrion Kross. We got to see how they play out as well too, you know. Loaded. I feel like Final Testament being on Raw is going to be what I wanted from them going to NXT. I said that they should have gone to NXT because of the airtime they were going to get. Now, Final Testament on Raw, they don't have to rush through their promos and they don't have to rush through their segments because we have 3 hours of content to fill up. Oh, yeah. MGM, yeah. So you have tucked away The Miz as well. He could lend a hand in the main event scene too. You're right. You're totally right, MGM. So you still got Finn Balor tucked away. You still got The Miz tucked away. You still got Karrion Kross tucked away. You know, I like it. I like what I see here. Ultimately, the decision of having the roster constructed the way they have it built for Raw and SmackDown, I'm not mad. I actually embrace it. I'm actually loving it. Now that I'm sitting here in real time with you guys reviewing it and seeing it on paper nicely listed, I'm like, shit, this is a nice roster. Because of the stories that are going to come from it. So many stories that they could pull at here. You know, exactly, Kev. Imagine Karrion Kross finally starts to creep up into the main event scene, right? And do his own storylines with that. Like, he's a very cinematic superstar, so whatever they do with Final Testament, it's going to be fun to see. It's going to be fun. Now, let's talk about the women's division because this is where it kind of gets a little negative for me personally. And I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why it gets a little negative for me. I'm not a fan of Liv Morgan. Let me just put that out there. I'm not trying to hate. Good for her that everyone loves her and finds her cute and attractive, and she's not half bad in the ring. She's just really small. It's not her fault. That's just her God-given ability, right? She's just a shorty, and it's not all that believable, but Damage Control was a phenomenal pick, Taco, because you have Io Sky, you have Asuka just there, hidden. And then you got Dakota Kai, and you also got Kairi Sane. So, super loaded there. I mean, Asuka's a main event attraction. Io Sky hasn't been built up as good as Asuka, but she's a main event level in-ring talent. And I know you guys are really big on Blair Davenport, especially with her promo skills and all that. But Kiana James is good on the mic. From what I've seen, she has a good character. I hope they don't turn her into a joke. And then Lyra Valkyria, she may not be all that great on the mic, but she is good as hell in the ring. So, the women's division is promising. We just got to see a better representation. Because Kiana James could be used as a joke. I hope she doesn't get used as a joke. And this is sink or swim for Lyra Valkyria. This is sink or swim for her. We know that the Raw women's division is going to be ran pretty much through Damage Control. And then let's see, now with the ample time that they have, maybe Alba Fire and Isla Dawn starts to build up their characters. You know, so the women's division is a little shaky with Rhea Ripley being out, right? With Becky Lynch being a transitional champ at the moment. But boy, oh boy, that men's roster is very, very appealing and intriguing to me. So now that we kind of reviewed and went over every superstar on each brand, I gotta tell you guys, I enjoyed the swaps. I enjoyed the people that stayed put for the most part. I thought LA Knight should have been swapped. I thought Final Testament would have been better in NXT. I feel bad for Dijak because I just don't know how Dijak ends up doing better than what he did in NXT. Dijak is a amazing performer, solid on the mic. I don't know. I feel like NXT was so much better suited for him. I hope he doesn't get lost in the shuffle. I'm really worried about Dijak, but sink or swim for him right now. But if the women's division was treated a little better in terms of Shayna Baszler and Zoe Stark, you have two women that are very worthy right there. Zoe Stark is awesome, dude. Shayna Baszler is the MMA fighter that you wanted Ronda Rousey to be in WWE. Shayna Baszler is bad. She is good. But WWE doesn't really book Shayna Baszler on the main roster like that. I don't know why. I don't know if it's an age or an appeal thing. But whatever. In NXT, they did amazing by her. And I just hope that she finds her footing at some point, because I honestly feel she's running out of time. The years are just passing by at this point. So I would have wanted to have seen something, better for her. Natalya, I think, would have benefited from going to NXT, especially since they don't really use her all that much. And that's about it. For SmackDown, Bobby Lashley could have been used on Raw. That's pretty much it for SmackDown. Bobby Lashley on Raw. Maybe the OC, but they still want to do an AJ Styles OC storyline. What up, Everbliss? So for me, the way they approached the draft, poorly executed. It needs to be considered an off-season, and you need to involve NXT. NXT should be able to steal some superstars. The organized list for the roster, this list is on WWE's website. I'm gonna repost it in case you guys want to follow it. I'm gonna put here. I'm gonna tweet. I like the roster. I like each roster a lot. Good balance overall. I just don't like the way they presented the draft. WWE there. Now I put hashtag WWE draft, hashtag WWE Raw, hashtag WWE SmackDown. if they would have presented the draft a little different, involving NXT, doing some trades and some negotiations, that would have been a lot better, in my opinion. Because going down the list the way they did, like, they should have involved the GMs a lot more too. What I'm hoping for is a brand split actually matters this year and doesn't just last a month. The brand split matters for the most part. Stephanie McMahon is rumored to be back, but people don't know what she's doing, and some people are saying that she isn't, so it's kind of like a mixed bag. No one really knows. NXT should have taken some people. Exactly. I think NXT should have taken some people, even if it's just in a trade format. Again, guys, I'm really big on trade deadlines. Like, what if they do, instead of a draft, like, call it a trade period or a trade deadline week or something like that, right? Where, and they could do it maybe twice a year to hype up something at the start of the season, which is right after WrestleMania, and something mid-season, which is right before the Royal Rumble. A shake-up, if you will. Yeah, let's call it that. They've called it that before. Superstar shake-up. And then the catchphrase, let it be trade deadline week or something like that. I don't know. They have too many creators out there working for them to just say, oh yeah, it's the WWE draft. And I get what Ace was trying to say earlier. Yeah, we're here to draft superstars and keep the ones that we want to keep. But when you have the belts holding them hostage and not able to move the champions with the belt, that makes it much more harder to watch for us as fans, because it automatically takes away the risk factor of a superstar being up for grabs. Shout out to the 3 new subscribers. We officially crossed 12,614. If I had to make a list for some picks NXT, I would have picked the Final Testament, Giovanni Vinci, and maybe Shayna. Yeah, for me, I had said Final Testament, Giovanni Vinci, Natalia. Those were 3 that I mentioned. Let me see. I think I have it saved on my computer, actually. Oh, no, I just deleted it today. Never mind. But yeah, those were some of the people that I had mentioned as well, because NXT is moving to CW, and Odyssey Jones was the best pick of the draft. Man, I don't know what they're going to do with Odyssey Jones, folks. Yeah, MVP is once again a free agent with Omos. So tonight I'm gonna be checking this match out. I'm gonna be doing a post show just for y'all to know. I'm going to be doing a post show. We're going to be coming on to talk about NXT and some other stuff within WWE. But tonight, we got Shawn Spears versus Ridge Holland for NXT Spring Breaking 2. I'm not going to watch NXT live tonight. I'm going to see if I hang out with Erica, maybe go to the movies or something, just watch TV with her. I don't know. But we also have another title match tonight. It's the North American title, Obafemi and Ivar. We know Ivar's not going to win, but that match is going to be good as hell. We did talk about Braun Strowman's return. I did mention Braun Strowman already. Pure meat with that match. So those are 2 matches that I'm looking forward to that's going down tonight. And for those of you that play WWE 2K24, make sure you check out the new locker code that just came out, WWE Draft 2K24. They also had another one for the final boss, which I thought was pretty bad. But let me pull it up here for you guys. The final boss. Where was it tweeted at? I don't remember. I can't find it right now, but I had seen it on their Twitter. WWE 2K hasn't really been tweeting lately. But they did put out a final boss locker code. And it was kind of garbo in my opinion. I thought it was a waste. But either way. We don't even know where Uncle Howdy's going to end up. So the only person we need is Uncle Howdy. I don't think they're returning at Backlash. Oh my God, somebody posted the burger after burger and Sheamus reposted it. It's an edited picture of Sheamus's toy holding a burger. This is amazing. Burger after burger. I think it's still a while to Uncle Howdy. Yeah, I think that it'll be a while till Uncle Howdy returns. It's going to be interesting to see if he shows up on both SmackDown and Raw.
Buraka! 619!
Wow, look at Speed. Speed got to meet Rey Mysterio and said, Buraka, Buraka.
Rey Mysterio, how you doing, man? What's good, man? Yo, you my favorite wrestler of all time.
That's crazy. Ain't that something? Drew's a walking meme maker. He really is, man. Drew McIntyre has just been on a roll. Absolutely knocking it out of the park. Yeah, I think Uncle Howdy will be on the main roster. What we could get a Backlash is a Jacob Fatu debut in that tag match. Man, people keep talking about that. You guys read too much, man. There's no... You guys just ruin everything, dude. Why do you guys do that to yourself, man? You don't want to see a random superstar just show up like in the old days, man? I don't get it. Why do you guys read so much? You guys are so desperate to know everything. That is so funny, man. I just saw the full video for I Show Speed. Rey Mysterio gave him a mask. He tried putting it on. He said that Rey got a small head. And Rey said, "Oh, we gotta get you a bigger one." That is hilarious, bro. You don't read, you're just guessing. How do you even know of Jacob Fatu? How are you guessing that he's gonna interfere? Come on, Taco. Don't be lying, bro. Did you guys... I did want to talk about that, man, before the show's over. So, Vice TV showed the trailer today for the brand new docu-series produced by the Rock's team and the Dark Side of the Ring team. And they're doing the WCW storyline and what really happened. Let me show you guys a little screenshot of it. So dope that they revealed this today. Let me see if I find the screenshot for you guys right now. I just saw it literally a second ago. But whatever. Point is, that's the story, guys. The Rock is producing a docu-series, and it's going to be talking about the fall of WCW and who's to blame for it. Everyone's coming out. Eric Bischoff is going to be talking on there as well. Kevin Nash, like everyone is coming out. The iconic rise and fall of WCW is one of professional wrestling's most captivating stories, full of big dreams, massive successes, painful failures, and the harsh realities of pro wrestling business. With wrestling viewership and fan engagement at an ultimate high, there has never been a more perfect time to tell a top quality wrestling story. And there's no better one to start with a one-of-a-kind, behind-the-scene look at the epic saga known as the rise and fall of WCW. That's what The Rock said. Who killed WCW? Lex, are you going to get the Undisputed Boxing game when it comes out? I already have it on PC, man. It's pretty good. Question is, am I going to stream it? Is WWE not going to release WrestleMania documentary? Well, The Rock posted the behind-the-scenes stuff. I would like to play Undisputed Boxing game on console even though I have it on PC. All-Stars 2? I doubt it. You should stream it. Yeah, I should stream it on my other channel when they do the full release then, right? I gotta start a career mode. That's why I bought it, because they were doing a career mode and I bought it on sale. So that's about it, man. That's all I had for you guys today for this 1 hour show. Tonight, again, we have spring breaking for NXT. I think it's going to be a good show. They have some nice matches planned out. And let's see if they surprise us with some other superstars showing up. Remember, I think Final Testament's AOP is going to be there fighting for the tag titles as well, which I don't think they're going to retain. Something else is going to spill out of that. I know they were feuding for that, but they were teasing that match and all that. But now that Final Testament is not going, new legends coming to MLB, nice. When you look at the draft for 2024, I'm not leaving yet, Jason. I didn't say that the stream was over. I said that's all I had planned. I didn't say the stream was over. Relax. When you look at the 2024 draft, what do you take away from it? What has you the most excited? Relax, Jason. What has you most excited? This is the part where I interact with the chat and I see what you guys ultimately have to say. 45 votes are in. Did you enjoy the 2024 draft? 44% said yeah. 29% said no, wish it was better. 27% said meh. MGM said Kiana James. That's a good pick. Taco says, I like the NXT call-ups. Good pick. For me, when I look at the draft and the way they presented Carmelo Hayes on Friday, that was a big deal to me. They put him up against Cody to showcase his talent, and it was amazing. And that was just a random match. I want to see if they could do the same for Braun Breaker on Raw. I like that they put Braun Breaker on Raw. Now, for the call-ups, I have to say Ilya Dragunov. Ilya Dragunov, man, I've seen his takeover matches. That guy is really crazy. He is a beast. I hope it translates to the main roster. Am I going to watch Canelo Alvarez on Saturday? Well, I'm going to be watching Backlash on Saturday. And Carmelo is going to be at night, so I might see a little bit of it. Carmelo getting drafted and having a pick was so freaking awesome. That's my highlight. I love that they're presenting him as a top guy. And they didn't give him the little kid, not the little kid treatment, but the NXT rookie treatment where they had him at NXT and do the. I'm not saying their reaction is fake, but you know what I mean. Sitting there all night waiting to get drafted. Like, they picked him right away and they had him on the show. So we got to 19 likes, man. Where the likes at, folks? Wake up. I want Braun Breaker to stop having these squash matches. Hopefully on Raw, he starts having proper matches. Braun Breaker's a beast, and he's had so many epic matches in NXT. I don't understand why they gave him all these squash matches. I guess they just want to remind you how good he is, and he's more than just a tag team wrestler, and they're trying to build him up as like, you know, Goldberg. The next Goldberg. Peace out, John. The next Goldberg is what they want you to think of, I guess, when you're looking at Braun Breaker. So let's see what happens in NXT, man. I'm hoping that Shawn Spears gets that win. I'm looking forward to that Shawn Spears match. I'm going to be watching it, talking about it tonight. Oba Femi versus Ivar. And then this is the other match that I was talking to you guys about for Spring Breaking. Axiom and Nathan Frazer versus Authors of Pain. Now, I don't know how the hell Axiom and Nathan Frazer are going to win. But those are the three matches that I'm looking forward to. And for those that hate Def Rebel, man, listen to that Oba Femi theme song. Then come talk to me. I love that Oba Femi theme song. We even got this match happening at Spring Breaking tonight. That's who I would have wanted to have seen get called down to NXT. The OC. Luke Gallows, man, and Carl Anderson. They got to use him. Who do you guys think is going to win? Wow, look who actually came in. Erica finally came to the stream after being gone, after selling out. Ridge Holland and Shawn Spears. Who do you guys think is winning this one? Spring Breaking tonight. Look at Trick Williams checking out his poster.
Yeah. I like it.
Spring Breaking. Spears. I hope Shawn Spears wins against Ridge Holland as well, man. But I like the character they're building for Ridge Holland. I'm intrigued by it. I want to see what else they do with him. Keep up the good work. Shawn Michaels on NXT. I'm tuning in, and I'm going to be doing a post-show review with you guys tonight. And I'm going to be playing WWE 2K24 as well. I'm going to be doing Universe and talking about NXT tonight. I hope to see y'all there, man. Have a great afternoon, early evening, and enjoy your dinner. I sure am. I'll see you guys on the next one. Let's go. Now it's time to go, Jason. Here we go.
Never break, always fight, never quit, do it right, play the game, win it life, have no shame, there's no time, feel the pain, live the grind, I could change, in my mind, pick a lane, commit and climb, the only way to win it life, I never miss, that's fact, taking big swings, bitch, hand me the bat, put me in the ring, you'll go out in a bag, cause I sing what I mean and I bring it to the mad light, ain't got time to kill, I got time to feel, I took the red pill, I know life's short so I wanna live real, but how's it supposed to feel? How's it supposed to feel? How's it supposed to feel? They wanna say my name, but they holding back. They wanna say they hate, but they know it's cap. I ain't play no games, I just do that's fact. And I don't feel no shame, it's a mood you lack. I go crazy, nah bitch I ain't lazy. Track after track, I work on this shit daily. Pass me the jack, right as fuel, got me hazy. About to unpack all these things I've been chasing. I've got visions in my head, like memories after death. To be a legend instead of something you can forget. I'm living up every breath, I'd rather lead than be led. I'll fill the seeds as I spread with every word that I've said. How's it supposed to feel? How's it supposed to feel?